Over 47 million seniors are expected to walk through airport terminals in 2026, many completely unaware of the major travel changes heading their way, and if you're over 50, the travel habits you've relied on for years are about to shift significantly. Beginning in 2026, airports will implement 8 new regulations that are already catching older travelers off guard, including facial recognition technology, mobile-only boarding passes, and updated identification standards that could render your current license useless. And the very first change has already left thousands stranded at security, so by the time you finish watching, you'll understand exactly which documents you'll need and the critical error that's already causing seniors to miss their flights. So let's break it down, starting with item number 8. Your existing driver's license may no longer be accepted, and beginning May 7, 2025, with full enforcement continuing into 2026. The TSA will require a real ID for all domestic air travel, meaning even a newly issued standard license won't be accepted at security checkpoints unless it features a gold star in the upper right corner, and that star indicates real ID compliance. And according to TSA reports, thousands of passengers have already been denied access to security since May simply because their IDs lack that gold emblem, and many of those affected are seniors who have carried the same form of identification for decades without issue. And the confusion often stems from the fact that not all states automatically issue a real ID when you renew your license, so you must actively request it, provide additional documentation, and in many cases, pay an extra fee ranging from $30 to $50, which for older travelers adds an unexpected layer of complexity. Even if your license shows a valid expiration date all the way until 2029, TSA will still reject it at the checkpoint if it lacks that gold star, leaving you with only 2 options. Return home to grab your passport or miss your flight entirely. So here's what you need to do. Check your driver's license right now for a gold star in the upper right corner, and if there's no star, visit your state DMV website and search for Real ID requirements, where you'll need to bring original documents like your birth certificate or passport, social security card, and 2 proofs of residency such as utility bills, and allow 2 to 4 weeks for processing in most states, but keep in mind your passport is always Real ID compliant and works perfectly for domestic flights, so the rule of thumb is no gold star on your license equals bring your passport to the airport. And as a pro tip, some states now allow you to start the Real ID application online, which can cut your DMV visit down to under 20 minutes. And now moving on to what's changing for international travel. Item number 7 is Europe's new passport rules, which are stricter than you might think. So if you're planning a European trip in 2026, pay close attention because the passport regulations have gotten much more complicated, and Europe now requires that your passport be valid for at least 3 months beyond your departure date from the Schengen area. But there's a second rule that catches many travelers, which is that your passport must also be less than 10 years old from the date it was issued. This means you could have a passport that shows an expiration date in 2027, but if it was issued back in 2015, European countries may still reject it because it's now more than 10 years old, and the US State Department has confirmed that several travelers have already been denied boarding to Europe because of this 10-year rule, even though their passports were technically still valid. So here's your action plan. Check your passport issue date on page 2 in the bottom right corner, calculate 10 years from that date, and if that date has passed or will pass before your trip, renew it now. Then add 3 months to your return date from Europe because your passport must be valid that long, and you can renew by mail if your current passport is undamaged and less than 15 years old using Form DS-82, allowing 8 to 12 weeks for routine processing or paying an extra $60 for expedited 3-week service. And here's an insider move: take your own passport photo with a white wall and upload it to the State Department's online tool for free instead of paying $15 to $17 at drugstores. But the passport is just the beginning of Europe's new requirements, because item number 6 is that Europe will scan your fingerprints and face starting in 2026, as the European Union launched a new system called the Entry and Exit System, or ETIAS, in October 2025. And by April 2026 it will be fully operational at every European border. Here's what this means for you. Every time you enter the Schengen area, you'll need to provide fingerprints and a facial scan at a biometric kiosk, and this applies even if you've been to Europe dozens of times before, because the system is designed to track exactly when you enter and exit Europe down to the specific day, enforcing the 90-day rule with complete accuracy so there's no more relying on passport stamps that might be missed, and according to reports from airports that have already implemented ETIAS, the process adds significant time to immigration, so what used to take 15 minutes can now take 60 to 90 minutes, especially during peak travel times, and the biometric kiosks can be particularly challenging for seniors because the fingerprint scanners sometimes struggle with dry skin, arthritis, or trembling hands, and if the scanner fails multiple times, you'll be directed to manual processing, which takes even longer. So here's what you should do: arrive at the airport 4 hours early for European flights in 2026 because immigration will take much longer than before, and moisturize your hands before going through immigration since dry skin causes fingerprint scanner failures. If you have arthritis, let the immigration officer know right away so they can assist you. Remove glasses for the facial scan and keep your expression neutral. Be patient because first-time registration takes 10 to 15 minutes but subsequent entries will be faster, so the rule of thumb is your first trip to Europe in 2026 will take the longest, and once you're registered in ETIAS, future entries should be quicker. And there's one more requirement coming for Europe. Item number 5, you'll need a €7 travel authorization before flying to Europe starting in October 2026, as Americans, Canadians, and Australians will need something called ETIAS before they can board a flight to Europe, and ETIAS stands for European Travel Information and Authorization System, so think of it like the ESTA system that foreigners use to enter the United States, and here's how it works. You apply online at least 96 hours before your flight, answer questions about your travel history, health, and background. Pay €7, which is about $7.50, and wait for approval. The authorization is electronically linked to your passport with no physical document, and the European Commission has confirmed that airlines will not let you board without an approved ETIAS, even if you have a valid passport, and while most applications are approved within minutes, some can take up to 96 hours if additional review is needed, which is why applying well in advance is critical. So here's your complete strategy. Mark your calendar for October 2026 when ETIAS applications open. Apply at least 1 week before your flight and don't wait until the last minute. Use only the official website etias.com or travel-europe.europa.eu. Have ready your passport, a credit card, your email address, and your first night's accommodation address, and answer all questions honestly because false information can result in denial. Save the approval email as backup even though it's electronically linked to your passport. And note that ETIAS is valid for 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. And here's an insider move. Watch out for scam websites charging $50 to $100 for ETIAS applications because the official fee is only €7. So always check that the URL includes Europa. EU. And now let's talk about what's changing at security checkpoints. But first we need to pause right here for a second because if you're planning to travel in 2026, take out your phone right now and add a note to check Real ID, passport issue date, and ETIAS, since these next 4 changes affect what happens at the airport itself and they're the ones that cost seniors the most time, money, and stress. And you've made it this far so don't miss what's coming next. Item number 4, Airport. Security scanners are getting a major upgrade, and here's some good news. TSA is rolling out next-generation CT scanners at airports across the country throughout 2026. These advanced machines can see inside your bag in 3D, which means you won't have to remove laptops, tablets, or liquids at many checkpoints, and the infamous 311 liquid rule, which requires 3 4 ounces in a quart-sized bag, is being phased out at airports with these new scanners, and major airports like Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, Chicago O'Hare, and New York's LaGuardia are already testing these systems, while TSA has confirmed plans to expand them nationwide through 2026. And there's another welcome change as the shoe removal requirement has been relaxed at most U.S. airports as of July 2024 because the new CT scanners can detect what's inside footwear, so most travelers can keep their shoes on during screening, which is particularly helpful for seniors who have mobility challenges or find it difficult to remove and replace shoes quickly. But here's the catch. Not every airport will upgrade at the same pace, and smaller regional airports might not get the new scanners until 2027 or later, so you still need to be prepared for traditional screening. And here's what you should do. Check your departure airport's website before your trip to see if they have CT scanners, and if you're unsure, pack liquids following the 311 rule just to be safe. Keep your shoes on unless specifically asked to remove them, but still remove metal items from your pockets because that hasn't changed. And if you have TSA pre-check, you'll continue to enjoy expedited screening with minimal removal requirements. And here's a pro tip. TSA pre-check costs $78 for 5 years and is worth every penny for frequent travelers over 50 since you keep your shoes on. Leave laptops in your bag and use shorter lines, but there's one packing rule that's getting stricter. Item number 3, lithium batteries must stay in your carry-on, as TSA has implemented a strict new rule that lithium batteries are now prohibited in checked luggage and must be in your carry-on bag only. And this includes portable phone chargers, spare camera batteries, laptop batteries, e-cigarettes, and vapes. And the rule was put in place because lithium batteries can overheat or catch fire if exposed to extreme temperatures or pressure in the cargo hold, and according to the FAA, there have been multiple incidents of lithium battery fires in checked luggage, which is why this rule is now being strictly enforced. And for seniors who travel with medical devices like CPAP machines, hearing aid batteries, or portable oxygen concentrators, this is especially important to understand, so here's what you need to do. Pack all portable chargers in your carry-on bag and never in checked luggage, and if you have spare batteries, keep them in their original packaging or tape the terminals to prevent short circuits, while medical devices with lithium batteries should go in your carry-on with a doctor's note. And e-cigarettes and vapes must be in your carry-on and cannot be used on the plane, so check with your airline about specific watt-hour limits for large batteries, and the rule of thumb is if it has a rechargeable battery, it goes in your carry-on, not your checked bag. And now here's where airlines are getting much stricter. Item number 2, carry-on size rules are being enforced to the centimeter, as airlines are cracking down on carry-on bags in 2026 and they're using technology to enforce it, with several airlines installing digital bag scanners at check-in counters and gates that automatically measure your bag, including wheels and handles, and reject anything that's even slightly oversized. And budget carriers like Ryanair, Spirit, and Frontier have been doing this for years, but now full-service airlines are following suit, with some even testing personal item-only fare options, which means you'd have to pay extra to bring a rolling carry-on. And airlines like Virgin Australia have announced that economy passengers will be limited to one bag weighing no more than 17 pounds, and bags that exceed the size or weight limit will be charged $50 or more to go in the cargo hold. The standard carry-on size for most airlines is 22 inches by 14 inches by 9 inches, but this includes wheels and handles, and many bags that used to fit now exceed these dimensions. So here's your action plan. Measure your carry-on at home, including wheels and handles, before your trip. Weigh your bag by investing in a small luggage scale for under $15 on Amazon. Consider a structured personal item bag that fits under the seat at 18 inches by 14 inches by 8 inches. Use packing cubes to compress clothing and maximize space. Check your specific airline's website 48 hours before departure since rules vary by carrier. And note that soft-sided bags are more forgiving than hard shell cases when it comes to fitting incisors. And here's an insider move. Take a photo of your bag passing through the size checker at the airport, so if you're challenged on your return flight, you have proof it was accepted on the outbound journey. But the biggest change for seniors might be this one. Item number 1, biometric face scans are becoming the new normal. The standard carry-on size for most airlines is 22 inches by 14 inches by 9 inches, but this includes wheels and handles, and many bags that used to fit now exceed these dimensions. So here's your action plan. Measure your carry-on at home, including wheels and handles, before your trip. Weigh your bag by investing in a small luggage scale for under $15 on Amazon. Consider a structured personal item bag that fits under the seat at 18 inches by 14 inches by 8 inches. Use packing cubes to compress clothing and maximize space. Check your specific airline's website 48 hours before departure since rules vary by carrier, and note that soft-sided bags are more forgiving than hard-shell cases when it comes to fitting incisors. And here's an insider move. Take a photo of your bag passing through the size checker at the airport, so if you're challenged on your return flight, you have proof it was accepted on the outbound journey. But the biggest change for seniors might be this one. Item number 1, biometric face scans are becoming the new normal. This is the most debated change because some love the speed while others worry about privacy, but either way it's here, and knowing your options helps you decide what's right for you. And now here's what most seniors don't realize. Getting through the airport is just the first challenge, because once you're on the plane, there's a whole different set of rules that airlines aren't advertising. Especially when it comes to medical emergencies at 30,000 feet, as in-flight medical incidents have increased significantly in recent years, and how airlines respond can mean the difference between a minor inconvenience and a $20,000 bill, and knowing these airport rules won't help if a health issue derails your trip mid-flight. So watch this next video where I break down what airlines don't tell you about medical emergencies on planes and the one document that protects you. And don't let an in-flight surprise ruin everything after you've prepared so well. See you there.